Hi, Dr. Marcia here with another in my series of Moving into Autumn with Good Self-Care. And today I want to talk about being thoughtful, because thoughtfulness is something we don't talk about enough. And I think it's such an underrated value. And I think what we don't also understand is how it benefits both people, the thoughtful person and the person who is receiving the thoughtfulness. So let's talk a little bit about thoughtfulness today. So what does it mean, first of all, to be thoughtful? Well, what it means is that we're actually thinking about the other person. We're thinking about their needs and their feelings, and most especially, we're thinking about how our behavior affects the other person. So when we're thoughtful, we're plotting ahead a little bit. We're kind of moving ahead a couple of steps and thinking, if I do this thing, how will it affect the other person? Or if I don't do this thing, how will it affect the other person? And that's what thoughtfulness means. We're jumping ahead a little bit into the future, and we're really considering the impact of our behavior on the other person. And that really matters, because when we do think about how our behavior is going to affect the other person, we can adjust our behavior to be a little bit more caring and kind and supportive toward the other person. And the thing that's going to happen when we're thoughtful, the best thing that's going to happen is that the other person will appreciate it for the most part. And I'll talk about the group of people who won't appreciate our thoughtfulness. But regular, ordinary people will really appreciate our thoughtfulness, and they will feel more connected to us, more warmly attached toward us, and they will just feel good about being with us. They'll want to spend more time with us because they'll think, boy, this is a really thoughtful person. It's so nice to be around them because the things that they do are so thoughtful and caring, and I always feel good in their presence. Now, there is a group of people who are not appreciative of our thoughtfulness, and these are people who usually have certain kinds of personality problems, such as narcissism or antisocial personality. And these kind of people can be very uncaring and unfeeling and unappreciative of our behavior. Bullies are also not appreciative of thoughtfulness, and certain other kinds of, difficult, challenging personalities will not appreciate it. So when we are thoughtful and the other person doesn't value it, that's an actual sign that this is probably not a person we want to be associating with. So that's actually a good thing, because when we're thoughtful and the person is not appreciative, it tells us, okay, this is a person that we should just, move ahead and forget about, because they're not going to be a person who really we want to associate with. Now, there's also a way that we can be too thoughtful. So people pleasers who are trying too hard to be helpful and accommodating and pleasing, these people are going to be thinking too much about what the other person feels and needs and wants, and they're going to bend themselves into a pretzel trying to do this. And what will happen is that they will become resentful, or they will feel frustrated because they're always ignoring their own needs and feelings and prioritizing the other person. So thoughtfulness always has to be in balance. We cannot ignore our own needs and feelings at the same time as we are considering the other person's needs and feelings. So when we're thoughtful, we should never forget that being thoughtful also applies to our own selves. And if we can be thoughtful toward ourselves and thoughtful toward the other person, then it's a win-win. We are happy because we're not neglecting our own feelings or needs. The other person is happy because we're being thoughtful to them, and they appreciate us because they feel so happy that we are considering them, and then they're going to probably be more thoughtful toward us because they'll feel like they want to reciprocate. Now, of course, like I said, there is that small group of people who will not appreciate it, but that's good to know, because that's important information about who we want to associate with and who we don't want to associate with. And these are really, really challenging times right now. COVID's numbers are going up here in Ontario, and we're feeling more, stress, a little bit more malaise. And so being thoughtful toward one another is really going to make a difference. Just thinking about like somebody that who might be more isolated, giving them a call. They will appreciate it so much if you say, I was thinking about you and I was just wondering how you were doing. They will feel so acknowledged and so loved and valued, and they will want to do something to reciprocate. Now, of course, you're not thoughtful because you want to get something back. You're thoughtful because it makes you feel good. Being thoughtful actually helps release the positive brain hormones like serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. It helps you feel more connected and like you're bonding better with people. So you want to do it because it makes you happier to be thoughtful, but then of course there is that added benefit that people will appreciate it, and it'll just solidify your relationships, and it'll make the closeness and the connection deeper. So that's my thoughts for today on thoughtfulness. Please stay tuned for more videos on moving into autumn with good self-care. Please stay smart, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and be patient, because this whole crazy time, eventually it will come to an end.